Why did the Mayan civilization suddenly collapse? The Maya were an ancient Mesoamerican civilization noted for their spectacular cities, impressive works of art and architecture, as well as their complex calendar system. But around the 9th century AD, they suddenly abandoned their urban centers, and the civilization as a whole began to disintegrate. So what happened? In this video, we're going to explore several theories as to why the Mayans mysteriously disappeared. The classic Maya civilization spanned over 2,000 miles from the modern Mexican state of Tabasco to the Belizean border with the Yucatan Peninsula. At its peak, between the years 250 and 900 AD, it comprised hundreds of independent city-states, each of which was ruled by an elite king who claimed divine ancestry. These city-states often competed against one another for supremacy, but they also cooperated in trade and in war. Together, they developed one of the most sophisticated civilizations in the ancient world. Their monumental architecture included great pyramids, palaces, and observatories, while their art was renowned for its exquisite craftsmanship. They also developed a sophisticated writing system and are believed to have invented the concept of zero. But sometime around the 9th century, the Maya suddenly began to abandon their cities. By the 10th century, most of the Maya had resettled in the countryside, and by the 11th century, their great cities were in ruins. One of the leading theories as to why the Maya collapsed is that their society was cursed by an overpopulation crisis. This theory is based on the work of anthropologist Lester R. Brahman, who argued that the Maya faced a catastrophic population increase during the 6th century. According to Bowman, this led to food shortages, social unrest, and eventually warfare. Other archaeologists, however, dispute Bowman's claims, pointing out that there is no evidence of an actual population boom during the 6th century. In fact, recent studies have shown that the population remained relatively stable throughout the Classic period. Another leading theory is that the Maya were conquered by outside invaders. This theory is supported by the fact that Maya society was highly stratified with a small, elite ruling class that controlled the majority of the wealth and power. This inequality led to frequent revolts and coups, which may have left the Maya vulnerable to invasion. Several groups are believed to have invaded Maya territory during the 9th century, including the Itza, the Yucatec, and the Quiche. However, there is little evidence that any of these groups were able to conquer the entire Maya civilization. The third theory is that the Maya were victims of a changing climate. This theory is supported by evidence of prolonged droughts during the 8th and 9th centuries, which would have made it difficult for the Maya to grow crops. However, there is some debate as to whether or not the Maya were actually affected by these droughts. Some researchers argue that the Maya were able to adapt to the changing climate by developing new agricultural technologies, while others argue that the droughts had a devastating impact on the Maya way of life. Finally, there is the theory that the Maya collapse was the result of a combination of factors. This theory is supported by most archaeologists today, who believe that a number of different factors contributed to the Maya collapse, including overpopulation, warfare, famine, drought, and perhaps even invasion. In conclusion, the sudden collapse of the Mayan civilization remains one of the most mysterious events in ancient history. While there is no consensus among archaeologists as to what caused the Maya to abandon their cities, most agree that it was the result of a combination of factors. Overpopulation, warfare, famine, and drought are all believed to have played a role in the Maya collapse. Additionally, the Maya may have been vulnerable to invasion during the 9th century. When several outside groups entered the region, whatever the cause, the collapse of the Maya civilization was a catastrophic event that resulted in the loss of countless lives and the destruction of one of the most sophisticated cultures in the ancient world. So what do you think caused the Mayan civilization to suddenly collapse? Let me know in the comments below. Remember, stay tuned for more videos about ancient civilizations.